If you were born and raised in Europe, the chances are at some point in your life you have taken the train. In fact, the likelihood is that you take the train fairly regularly. If you were born and raised in the US, except for New York City, the chances are you have never taken the train, and if you have, then it has been a novelty experience for you. It's not something that you use on a regular basis. And how do I know this? Well, look around. I'm currently in the parking lot of a Dallas area rapid transit train station, and you can see there are only 4 cars, and the car that we came in is one of them. So 3 cars here. And furthermore, that brings me to one of the first major differences between Dutch train stations, at least, and American train stations, which is I don't think I really saw a whole lot of car parking at the Dutch train stations. Is that correct? Do they have car parking there?
They do, but usually you bike to the train station, depending on where you come from. Or maybe you get someone to drop you off or something like that. But it seems like here you drive to the train station to then take the train.
Yeah, and then of course, at least at the Dutch train stations, they always have the buses that come directly to the train station. I don't know if I really see a bus here. There is a bus stop, I guess, but I've actually never seen the bus in Louisville before, so I don't even know what it looks like. Or maybe it's just a part of the train station as well. But as you can see, I mean, it's just absolutely desolate. Nobody is really just taking the train just out of their own free will. I think the only people here who are taking the train are people who pretty much have no other option. But then again, if they drove here, then that must mean that they do have another option. So that's encouraging. It is encouraging that people are choosing to take the train. We have another car pulling up in the back right there. Don't know if they're gonna get on the train or if they're here to pick somebody up or what. But it's nice to see that there are at least some people taking the train. I think that maybe if you get closer to downtown Dallas, you'll see more people taking the train. But basically, again, what I've been saying throughout a lot of my recent videos is proving to be true, which is that people here don't take the train, not because it doesn't exist, but because there is a societal stigma surrounding the train. And to be honest with you, I'm no exception to that. I've only taken this train maybe a handful of times in my life, and it's been so long since I last took the train that I don't even know how this is supposed to work. I don't know when the train's going to be here, if it's going to be here. I mean, I guess if there are cars there, then it must be coming at some point. But this train is definitely a lot different. Just the whole entire experience of taking the train here, coming to the train station here, is very, very different. Wait, hold on real quick. That kind of looks like a bike lane.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, Dallas might be stepping their game up. You love to see it. Dallas might be stepping their game up. Just saw a bike lane. You have some bike racks there. Nothing like what you would see in the Netherlands, but it's better than nothing. And now we're going to walk up to the little ticket purchase area and see if we can go ahead and get ourselves a couple of day passes here. So you walk up to this thing, and basically in the Netherlands, you kind of just scan your card, correct? And that's pretty much how that works. I don't think I really saw any of these in the Netherlands.
Well, they do have these as well. If
they
you
do?
Wanna, yeah, get a, what's it called? A pass or a ticket.
Okay, that makes sense. So usually we have a train coming up here. I don't know what they're doing all of that for, but we have to pay using coins or bills.
Oh.
So I don't know what that's all about, or I guess we can use cards. I don't really know how all of this is supposed to work. This right here is an example of a train that you would see here in the area. Actually, this isn't even the DART train. This is the DCTA train, Denton County Transportation Authority, but it does link up with the DART train. But we need to figure out how to use this right here. So I guess we go local system, and we're going to go for a day pass, maybe 2 of them. and then I guess we pay with card, if that's possible. Can you hold this real quick?
Yes.
Doesn't seem to work. You could try swiping.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Just press that button. Can you hold this real quick? Now let's go ahead and try that again. Okay, so it looks like it's working.
Oh.
Transaction problem. Sorry, we are unable to complete your transaction. Please use cash. Okay, so we're not off to a very good start here. I don't remember that being an issue last time. So I don't really know why that's the case. I know that's definitely not a thing in the Netherlands, right? Having to use cash. Okay, so we can try another one. Maybe there's another terminal thing here somewhere. See, this is what the train is looking like. Ideally, we'll be able to get on the train at some point today. I hope you can hear me. But we're gonna go up to this other one at the end. Seems like there's another ticket terminal thing. And we'll see if we can get our tickets that way. And if not, then honestly, we might have to come back on another day with some cash and go from there. But that's very, very interesting that you have to pay with cash or coins. Definitely seems a bit archaic, for lack of a better term. Let's go ahead and walk up to this ticket terminal. I don't know why they keep honking like that. So we have another one, pay using coins or bills. It's saying the same thing, but again, they have a card reader here. So I don't know. And if you hold this.
Yep.
And yet again, transaction problem. Sorry, we are unable to complete your transaction. Please use cash. It's not looking too good. And they don't even have an ATM here either. That's very, very odd. I'm starting to see why there are so few cars in the parking lot now. It's because they're creating a lot of undue friction surrounding this process. But at the very least, let's talk about this train station while we're here. So there are definitely a lot of differences between this train station and the train stations that you'd see in the Netherlands. Let's touch on some of those differences. So first of all, this one is outdoors.
Yeah.
The ones in the Netherlands are typically indoors, correct?
Yes.
More often than not, they're indoors. And I'm pretty sure that most of the train stations there have public restrooms. They are paid. Usually you have to pay around 90 cents, but they are there. They exist. I don't see any public restrooms here. I don't see any public restrooms, which is very odd. No porta potties, no nothing. People probably just pee on the train tracks, I guess. I don't know. And to my knowledge, if I recall correctly, there were no restrooms on the trains either. So you have to have a very strong bladder to be able to hold it for as long as you need to hold it. And then on top of that, you still have to get in your car and go to wherever you need to go to. And there's nothing around here at all. So the train station is very isolated. There's a boat yard right there. There's a road. Don't know where that road leads. But there's basically nothing here. I mean, this is kind of sad,
Yeah.
to be honest.
This is just a train station in its most basic form.
Yeah. Again, just like I've been saying in my recent videos, very, very rudimentary. And even the trains themselves, you could tell they were a lot smaller. And the insides, I mean, look, beggars can't be choosers. It's better than nothing. But when it comes to the NS compared to the DART train or the DCTA train, night and day difference. I know there are quite a few Dutch people who have a lot of complaints about the NS. Hopefully this will help shift your perspective on how blessed you actually are to have access to such a robust train system. Because I mean, we're supposed to be on the train right now. We couldn't even get in the train because we don't have cash. I didn't know that was going to be the case, by the way. I did not know that was going to be the case. I'm still planning on coming back and going on the train with her, but I guess we'll have to have cash next time. Very, very odd. And also, I feel like things like this tend to happen with American public transit, where sometimes you just need to have cash with you for some reason. I remember one time in LA, it was actually the day I was supposed to leave LA, I decided to take the bus to the airport, or at least as close to the airport as I could get. But for some reason, they didn't take my card. And whenever I tried paying with the LA tap card, which is literally designed specifically for the LA public transit, they didn't accept that either. They said they only accept cash, and I had to take an Uber, probably cost me $50 or $60. And thankfully I was able to make my flight on time. But that was a season of my life where I wasn't really living in a whole lot of abundance. So, I mean, that definitely hurt quite a bit financially. But I don't know. You have this big American flag over here. This is supposed to be the best country on the planet. And look, it's better than a lot of places, but when it comes to the public transit, clearly we have a very, very long ways to go. So what are your thoughts on the public transit?
Yeah, it's just very different than what I'm used to. Because I'm trying to think of why you would take it here if you kind of need a car to get here.
Yeah.
Then I wonder, why are you taking the train? Is it more for like if you're taking a trip or something?
No, it doesn't really go anywhere outside of the Dallas region.
Because then it doesn't make sense that you have to drive here first to then take the train.
Yeah.
So I don't. No, that doesn't make sense to me. But at least you have one, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, that's actually kind of a non-starter, because what's the point of taking the train if you have a car and you have to drive to the train just to take it? I would have thought that maybe the train would be good for drunk people who need to get back and obviously shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. But the train only runs until about 10 p.m. I learned that the hard way a few years ago with my dad. We took the train to a basketball game in Dallas, and we found out that the train was actually non-operational after the game. And we had to call my mom in the middle of the night. She was so heated. She had to come pick us up at this random train station between Dallas and where we live, and it was just a whole ordeal. So again, I don't really know what's going on with this train system. I don't know why you need cash for it. That's really, really weird. I feel like in Europe, I don't really recall just seeing much of anything that required cash exclusively. I've heard it's more common in Germany, but in the Netherlands, I definitely never saw that there.
In fact, some places you can only pay by card.
Yeah.
So it's the other way around. But also, I wonder how you figure out what time it's coming. I guess they have a website or something, but there's no times actually here where like you can see that the train is coming at that time.
That's a good point. I don't recall seeing any signage over there.
No.
Let me actually go and walk back and see if maybe they have it listed on the wall or something like that, because I see something over there that looks like it could be a schedule. And also, I can't really comment on the punctuality of the train here. I can't really see why they would fall behind schedule, because they only have a few stops. But if this is any indication of the punctuality or any other component of the just general public transit system here in the DFW area, at least, it's not looking too good. So okay, we do have an A train schedule, passenger resources, etc. So at least there's something. But if I recall correctly, I want to say this train only comes every 30 or so minutes, something like that. And you can see it only goes in 2 directions.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll try to come back maybe tomorrow or something with some cash and see if we can at least get on the train. But it's not looking too good. It is not looking too good right now. Now we're gonna get back in the car, get back to the car dependency, and I guess that's pretty much it. I don't know what else we can do from there.
Choice.
Yeah, at the very least, if you're gonna ask for cash, at least have an ATM on site where people can withdraw cash, because I don't know, to me that seems like a major inconvenience. But any closing thoughts on this experience?
They need to step up.
Yeah, they need to step up big time.